Welcome to our City Council work session. Today is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, and I would like to call this meeting to order. Notice is hereby given to the members of the City Council and to the general public that at this work session, the City Council may vote to go into executive session, which will not be open to the public, for discussion and consultation with the city's attorneys for legal advice on any item listed on the following agenda. Can I get roll call, please?
Mayor Daggett. Vice Mayor Sweet.
Here.
Councilmember Aslan. Here. Councilmember Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember House.
Here.
Councilmember Matthews.
Here.
Councilmember Spence.
Here.
Councilmember Aslan, can you please do the pledge?
My pleasure. Please stand as you're able. The mission of the City of Flagstaff is to protect and enhance the quality of life for all.
Flagstaff City Council humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by Native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home.
Thank you. We are down to open call to the public. Open call to the public enables the public to address the council about an issue that is not on the prepared agenda. Comments relating to items that are on the agenda will be taken at the time that that item is discussed. Open call to the public appears on the agenda twice, at the beginning and at the end. The total time allotted for the first open call to public is 30 minutes. Any additional comments will be held until the second open call to the public. And Dennis Givens.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, City Council, staff, residents of Flagstaff. I'm Dennis Givens, a concerned citizen. I just wanted to talk about some maybe future agenda items we could put on, but they're not on the agenda today. Just things I've been listening to while sitting in the crowd. My first topic is House First Bar. If the city wants more walkable, mixed-use, dense community/commercial areas, then we must figure out a better noise ordinance. I work at a vegan restaurant between Southside Tavern and the house that has problems with the loud noise until 2 a.m. Mention this app for 10% off at Morning Glory Cafe, by the way. The house owned by Ralph and Candace is a beautiful family home with a bridge over the Rio de Flag that leads to an impressive treehouse. They built a beautiful home there. The bar owner, Matt, has put his life savings into the bar, $30,000. It is a nice community spot to gather. He has tried to mitigate the sound. Can we mediate this situation fairly? Can the bar survive a new noise ordinance? Can we also prevent a lawsuit against the city? These are some questions that I want you guys to ask yourself. And then my next topic is Flagstaff First versus Friends of Flagstaff's Future. One side supports the carbon neutrality plan and the city's sustainability efforts. The other side thinks these efforts are financially irresponsible. Is there a middle ground? Is mixed energy use possible anymore? Are we all gonna burn? Both groups agree with my next talking point, though. Say no to a new hospital next to Fort Tuthill. Protect Fort Tuthill County Park from outside development encroachment. Northern Arizona Healthcare has other locations where they can build their new hospital if they cannot retrofit the hospital on the hill. Under ARS, Arizona Revised Statutes 9-511, a municipality has the illicit authority to exercise eminent domain for public park purposes. The city could buy NAH's property next to Fort Tuthill for market value, then sell the parcel to the county for more than the purchasing price. Use said revenue to fund public safety. Also, my next talking point is a bus stop to Kachina Village and Mountain Air. Reduce the use of single ride vehicles and save people money to spend on their taxes. It agrees with our carbon neutrality plan and our land regional use plan, a regional land use plan. So lobby for a bus stop to Kachina Village, please. And then my last point is continue to build an affordable senior living center across from the city's courthouse, next to the future parking lot. Build workforce housing for the employees of the senior living center, a child care center for the city workers, and a greenhouse on top of the roof, all in one complex. Thank you, and keep up the good work.
Thanks, Dennis. Next, we have Nadine Hart.
Good afternoon, City Council members and viewers at home and those here. Today I'd like to discuss the motorized vehicles, both gas-powered and the electric bikes that are becoming more prevalent by children on the trails. I sent all of you an email with pictures of what happened to my friend's vehicle. She was on 4th Street at the China Star or China Buffet, coming out of there, and two juveniles on motorcycles fleeing our amazing officers crashed into her car, pretty much destroying it. Luckily, she had full coverage insurance. Those two young individuals went to the hospital with broken legs. It is not okay. Somebody purchased this for them, and they're using it on streets. I would like to see the city issue more awareness and stiffer penalties, up to including punishing the parents, because they're ultimately responsible. There was another day on the Foots Trail in Coconino Estates. 3 juveniles on these small, short motorcycles came driving up and almost hit my daughter and my dog. They were going to tear up that bike park that's used for other children. They were combative, they were loud with their music, and when I shared my experience, I was attacked so viciously from our community, it was not even funny. From what I understand, these same kids are destroying Buffalo Park, they've been caught at Bushmaster. Our police, especially without flock cameras now, are very limited in how to apprehend these individuals. So what we can do, what I ask you to do as a council, is to remind parents that they are accountable. And also these electric bikes. Everyone's in favor of this because climate change, blah, 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 blah. These things go at a very high rate of speed. When you are riding up a hill or down a hill, it's significantly different. It is not intended for kids to go racing around. And keep in mind, these are very, very heavy. What do you think it's going to do for somebody running and using a sidewalk? There are other places in cities, I think Las Vegas, there's parts of Phoenix that are outlawing these things altogether based on certain speed. The problem is we've allowed it, so it's very hard to bring it back. But I know this isn't popular, and I don't mean any digs. I know you guys didn't want to fund the police. You're not top of the line with keeping the community safe, but this is serious. There are people who use the Foots trails and our sidewalks. I see it all the time in Coconino Estates. Why is that little kid running around at 40 miles an hour in a little go-kart? It's not okay. So I hope we start issuing those penalties, fines within the power that you have as a city, and I know you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. Next, we have Gwen Groth.
Good afternoon, Vice Mayor and council members. My name is Gwen Groth, and I'm a lifelong Flagstaff resident and lover of local history. And I just have a few things to say about the Babbitt House. There's more to growth and progress than codes, zoning, and dollars. It's about sense of place, history, and people. It often feels that there's an us against them mentality when it comes to change in Flagstaff, City Hall versus the people. But somewhere between the codes and the community lies compromise. How can we all work together to make Flagstaff a better place for everyone? A recent Facebook post about the Babbitt House garnered more than 450 reactions and many, many comments in favor of preservation in a matter of a few days. I'll take a few of my 3 minutes to read some of those comments. A lot of people have said paving paradise to put up a parking lot. You may have gotten emails yourselves because we did share with people how to contact City Council and All Thrive, and people have responded to that. Folks are saying stop and pause. Someone named Cheyenne says, I love seeing the historic homes and buildings we have in town. It's sad that we have to destroy architectural history of founding families to make room for monstrous cookie-cutter structures. Don't demolish history. We've got stop, we've got, isn't it historical, can't we save it? Someone named Connie says she thinks it should be restored and not be a parking lot. Sherman says we've already lost so much, let's pause and see if we can turn it into a Flagstaff treasure. There was one comment that I pulled out, let me see if I can find it, that this lady said, one of the reasons people visit Disney is because Town Square feels like home, like grandma's warm hug. It's safe, it's something in our DNA. You don't know what you're really doing when you're destroying history. So she's really for keeping local history alive. Some folks mention living around the corner. Some people just talk about preserving. Lots of stop, please preserve. But I think the intention is for a parking lot, if I'm not mistaken. And how many parking spaces can be placed where that house is? And really, is it worth it to lose a home for a handful of parking places? So let's compromise, let's work together. I think we all want to maintain Flagstaff's history and character. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Next, we have Duffy Westheimer.
Hello, Vice Mayor and council members. So I'm just going to give you a very brief history of the Babbitt family because you'll hear, this is very brief. David Babbitt and his 4 younger brothers arrived in Flagstaff 140 years ago in April. They came west to start a cattle ranch, but the impact was that they built their lives in this community. Under the leadership of David, they, with other residents, dedicated themselves to creating a thriving economic center. Their success has benefited everyone, including us today. The actual impact of these original 4 families and their descendants cannot be summarized in 3 minutes, but here is a very abbreviated overview. Their ranching enterprises became legendary. The mercantile business grew to have stores throughout northern Arizona. They branched out to have reservation trading posts. David participated in the creation of an electric company for Flagstaff. Real estate projects resulted in the construction of many commercial and residential buildings. Their 1960 Cherry Hill neighborhood development of single-family and multifamily rentals has streets named for the brothers. The vehicle sales and repair business is still active. On their ranch land, they are now generating renewable energy. But their family influence did not stop with business. It included an ethos of community activity. They helped to establish the precursor to NAU, the normal school. Expressing their deep Catholic faith, David's wife, Emma Verkamp, established on the block where their house sat a Catholic school and other Catholic community facilities. They participated in building the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary Church across Beaver Street from their house, with the family currently involved in the restoration. In 1950, David and Emma's house became a convent and retreat center. Its use by the Catholic community after it was no longer their family home strongly suggests their desire for their community ethos to be carried forward. David and many family members have served as Flagstaff mayor and council members. Descendant Bruce Babbitt served as Arizona Attorney General, Governor, then United States Secretary of the Interior. This family's impressive American story began a century and a half ago with a move west to their adopted Flagstaff. Through time, they've had significant local, state, and national impact, illustrating what people can accomplish. Their story is important, and through preservation of the David Babbitt House, the lessons of their lives will inspire us all into the future. You, Vice Mayor and Mayor, if she's listening, and council members have influence and power. You can save this remaining Babbitt House. With rehabilitation, it can continue to serve Flagstaff as the families have done for 140 years so far. Thank you. And I brought copies for all of you with resources. I mean, what that family's accomplished is amazing. So thank you.
Thank you, Duffy. Karen Malice Clark.
City Council and staff, you've already heard from me in an email, but I wanted to come and share my remarks further. I support the City of Flagstaff purchase of the All Thrive 365 parcel downtown. Thank you so far for your proactivity and leadership and situational awareness in realizing the situation has changed with that parcel now, and past decisions may not be applicable. Your decision space has changed, has enlarged now. It seems there is an opportunity now for a win-win situation for the city, for All Thrive, and the bonus win is for preservation of the Babbitt House. I've shared these comments also with the city's Heritage Preservation Commission at their meeting last week, and I've shared similar comments with All Thrive representatives, and even got a response from All Thrive. Just as the Babbitt family donated the house and the land for the greater good of the community, now we have another opportunity to do something for the greater good of this community. And we might not know what that greater good is, but that doesn't exist unless we preserve the house. Don't demolish it. Keep your decision space open. I am a frequent user of the paid parking at that location for my downtown visits. I'm also familiar with the All Thrive organization, as a family member is on the wait list for their current senior housing development in Flagstaff Senior Meadows. So thank you, and I look forward maybe being back here again when this topic is on the agenda.
Thank you, Karen. Nicholas Jones.
Council, thank you. My name's Nick. Sorry, I don't do stuff like this very often, but I felt moved to speak about this today. My name's Nick Jones. I'm a lifelong resident of Flagstaff, Arizona. My father, Paul Jones, dedicated his life to civil service in this city, building the foot system, leading the way for the train station to be rebuilt and remodeled, working with BNSF, Heritage Square. And so I understand from my own upbringing and what I saw as my father worked at this city, there is a delicate balance of developing our city and also preserving what we can, and how those things can intertwine. I would say that when he was working on the foot system, many people were very upset about the idea of taking away this land on Route 66, spending money on these things. They saw it as a waste of money. You could speak to almost anybody today, and I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a single Flagstaff resident who thinks that the foot system is a waste of money. So my point with this is that it's very easy to destroy things. Once it's destroyed and we take away this piece of history with the Babbitt House, the options are gone. People who are much more educated than me about this specific parcel have already spoken. I can also say that as someone who runs a tour company in town, we do haunted history tours, but also history tours, public art tours. People are going on tours in Flagstaff, and they're spending money in downtown Flagstaff, and they're visiting our town, yes, partially because of the beautiful place that we live in, but mostly because of the community and the history and the weird people who inhabit this city. The more that we cookie cutter this city and tear it down, the less of these things that make us unique exist. And there is short-term money to be made in real estate deals from that. However, that does not lead to a prosperous, sustainable, and durable economy or community for us or business owners. And so I don't think I need to use my full time. I appreciate you all hearing me. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Charlie Silver.
Hello, Mayor, wherever you are, if you're watching, Vice Mayor and council members. My name is Charlie Silver. I'm a 40-year resident of Flagstaff, and I will be very brief. I just want to say, please find a creative way to save the David Babbitt House and perpetuate the story of Flagstaff as embodied in our remaining historic built environment. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe that is all of the public comments that we have, so I'm going to move down to the review and draft agenda for the February 3rd, 2026 City Council meeting. Council, do you have any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Going down to item 6, January work anniversaries.
Good afternoon, Vice Mayor, Council. We're here to present our January work anniversaries, beginning with our first year anniversaries. We've got several employees throughout the organization, some in water services, information technology, pros, in our city clerk's office, as well as project managers, police officers. So we're really excited that these folks are with our organization and that they've accomplished their first year. We have Jennifer Breivik, who is one of our police crime analysts, celebrating her 10 years with the city of Flagstaff. We also have Scott Draws, one of our fire engineer paramedics, also celebrating 10 years. We have Tyler Crombine, one of our fire engineers, also 10 years. We have Austin Roop, also a fire engineer paramedic, celebrating 10 years. You'll notice sometimes with our fire department, they're in groups, and that's because we have an academy, right, that they all go together. And so that's not uncommon when we celebrate our anniversaries. And then I'm going to turn it over to someone else to present this one.
It felt a little awkward to have Shannon present her own anniversary. Well, I am truly honored this evening or this afternoon to present or to recognize Shannon for 20-year anniversary. Shannon, as you all know, is, it says on here Deputy City Manager, but recently changed title. She's an Assistant City Manager, which is right below the City Manager, so the kind of the second in charge of the city. She's been with the city for 20 years. I think we have the script on here, but I do just kind of want to go off script. Shannon's been with the city since 2006, and as most of you know, we split up our assignments. We have divisions that report to us, and Shannon right now has police and fire, which, no offense, I know we have a lot in the room today, but it's very difficult. It's a very difficult portfolio. She also has PROS, our Parks, Recreation, Open Space and Events, Public Works, Water Services. I think, is that it right now? Yes. So a very difficult portfolio that Shannon manages. She started with the city in 2006 and started as a human resources manager. So it was kind of the story that we like at the city of Flagstaff, where you move up into different roles. She then became the director of human resources in 2008, just shortly being here for 2 years. And I think just left such an impact when she was in HR. She was promoted to a deputy city manager in 2019. And some of the things that you hear about Shannon, and when you talk to her, she's always centered on our employees and approaches every issue and every lens from an employee lens. You hear stories about, and I was in a different organization at this time, but Shannon's leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic, and was just critical to getting this organization through that time, and has left a an impact on this organization. She's also always the one in the room that says, hey, have you thought about including this person or this division? And she's always focused on making sure that our decisions are collaborative, and that we all are at the table during a decision. And I think that's really important in the work that we do. She also is, I think, we all are, but very focused on a culture of transparency, inclusion, and then just continuous improvement. In 2025, many of Shannon's direct reports in this room actually met and nominated her for a Gabe Zimmerman Public Service Award, which is an incredible honor. As you know, Gabe Zimmerman was one of the individuals that was involved in the Gabby Gifford shooting, and his family has sponsored this award. And there are a lot of applicants, and it's incredibly selective, and we're honored that Shannon received that. That award is recognizing her exceptional service, ethical leadership, and her lasting impact on the community of Flagstaff. And most recently, Shannon received her International City County Manager's Credentialed Manager designation, also not an easy thing to do. You actually have to take a test, and I think Shannon got the highest score out of the three of us in our office. But just reflecting her dedication and her commitment to the public service profession. So thank you, Shannon, for setting such a high bar for our municipal excellence, for the countless ways you vision, and your heart. I would say many of us look at you that you definitely have a heart that you bring to this job every day. So Shannon, thank you. And I'm going to let Shannon say a couple words.
How about on with the show? No, it's been a true joy. Being here 20 years, the folks that I get to work with are like my family. So I'm proud to be here and proud to be with them. All right, so let's move on. Michael Willie, he actually works in our library. I don't know. I hadn't heard back, so I'm not sure if he was able to join us or not, but let me tell you a little bit about Michael. He's also been with the city for 20 years. He's currently the library's network administrator for the Coconino County Library District. He joined them in 2008. The district includes 9 public libraries, 2 bookmobiles, and 2 special libraries. He keeps the wired and Wi-Fi networks working and manages the network and window security systems, including the web filtering. He provides server support for the library's enterprise-level systems. When he's not doing the back of the house activities, he's providing frontline help desk support for all of the libraries. And so the library wanted to congratulate Mike along with us on his 20 years in serving the city. Congratulations, Michael. Hopefully that's not for Corey, because we're going to talk about him next. Chief, did you want to come down and introduce this one? Yeah, talk fast. Do you want to talk about Corey?
Oh, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, members of the public, I'm really pleased to be here. I got to tell you, Corey Coplia, there's a few firefighters that are going to generate the turnout for all the brass across the fire department, but Corey does. And so just there's a lot here, and I can read that through you, but he was one of the stalwarts when I first came to work here. Generally finds himself working with some very senior crews, and they do a knockout job every day in this community. And it's just a testimony that leadership happens at every level in the organization. And, bugles on a collar don't mean much. It's the attitude, it's the commitment to service and community, and Corey represents that. So you see he's been very involved in a number of things throughout his career. He's still super engaged. He's probably one of the more fit people on our department at 25 years. he might say the fittest. I don't know. We'll see what he does. But in any case, we're just so proud of him and so grateful that we all get to work with him. And really, thank you, Corey. Would you like to say a few words? No.
Congratulations, Corey. I can understand the not desiring to say a few words. All right. Ralph Hearn, I know he is not going to be able to join us today, but he is celebrating 30 years with the City of Flagstaff, an incredible amount of time that he's dedicated to our organization and our community. Again, a handful of words come to mind when we think about Ralph, and his coworkers suggest passionate, compassion, and listening. He began his career when the park section was in Public Works, moved to community enhancement, back to Public Works, and now within our pros team. He's a maintenance worker. He's absorbed as much information, obtaining certifications, and becoming passionate about all the things parks related. And his current role today is park supervisor at the Citizen Cemetery, where he excels. During Ralph's tenure, he has been crucial to projects that relate to improvements at the park shop, at the cemetery, with operational systems, held an EAC seat for the division where I got to know him well when I was in human resources. He's a terrific asset to that team. And he held a fleet management committee seat for the division, managing specific beautification, streetscapes, and quite frankly, keeping all of us in line. Over time, Ralph's demonstrated enormous compassion for the work he does for the City of Flagstaff and with his team and coworkers. It is his care for others that has made Ralph an incredible supervisor over the past 13 years. And over the past 5 years, he has executed amazing improvements at the cemetery by listening to the feedback of all. The team is elated to have the opportunity to learn and work side by side with Ralph, and we all wish him the very best as he enters his 30th year with the organization. Congratulations, Ralph. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you back at the end of February. Thank you, and I just want to extend my congratulations, and also the mayor. She's not here tonight. She's in DC doing her wonderful work for the city, but also extends her appreciation and gratitude for everyone and celebrating their anniversary. So thank you, Shannon. Next, we have recognition of work completed by water distribution crew.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, or Vice Mayor and Council. Lee Williams, Water Services Director. I am here to just give some kudos to everybody involved in the water main break that happened 1 week ago today. You all are here conducting city business. I was at home moping around with a head cold, and my phone started lighting up, and I reached out to, well, Patrick reached out to me, I reached out to the water production crew. They didn't answer because their phone was going off the hook also because there was a loss of pressure across most of the city actually due to this break. So to start, I just want to give thanks to the first people on the scene. Police and fire were there, keeping the public safe, keeping the public out of distribution's crew way so that they could find where the break was and shut the water off. Distribution crew, excuse me, had their on-call person there within about 20 minutes, tromping through the mud and the weeds. They found a valve, they isolated. This one was a gusher. We don't normally highlight these pipe breaks, but this was a 12-inch pipe, came completely undone at a joint and dumped about 1.1 million gallons of water in under an hour. So significant. Quick picture here of the road flooded that was posted on Calf Country News' Facebook site, and a little map there showing where it is, pretty close to the U-Haul area across on Huntington there, across from Grant Street. I'm going to turn it over to Patrick O'Connor, our Field Operations Section Director, and he'll give you the rundown on how everything was handled. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, I'm Patrick O'Connor, Section Director of Field Operations for the City of Flag. Just working through the slides here.
Yeah, I think you should be able to hit that or the space bar.
All right. I'll do my best to summarize the slides that you see in front of you, but this is actually a photo taken early Wednesday morning of the break itself, just showing some of the challenges that our crews face with our underground utilities and the maintenance, installation, and repair. You'll see in the top section of this particular photo is we have a stormwater catch basin dangerously dangling in the air above the break location. So and also you'll see on the right-hand side running north to south is a natural gas main. So our concerns right away, once we were able to remove the water from the excavation, is to protect that gas line in case that stormwater catch basin and the piping itself were to collapse onto it. Obviously, it would have created a much more dangerous situation for everyone. There's also, as you noted, what's noted in this slide is that we're dealing with fiber optic conduit, an unmarked private irrigation system on top of our own pipe network that we had to worry about as well. Crews, like Lee mentioned, were able to isolate the main within just about an hour. So the significance of that, losing just over 1.1 million gallons in an hour of a break, is significant. This truly was 2 open-ended 12-inch diameter pipes running for that entire 1 hour. Crews were able to isolate the water main within that 1 hour and restore service to our existing 3 businesses that were affected by 10 o'clock Wednesday night. This was thanks to not only our crews, but Eagle Mountain Construction. This is one of our JOC contractors in Flagstaff. They assisted in the excavation and repair work of the water main itself, while distribution crews worked on a valve installation to help isolate that break area and then restore water to our customers. So that was kind of what we had to come up with to help prevent that delay, that additional delay of those customers being without water. The picture on the left-hand side are the water distribution, wastewater collections, and stormwater maintenance crews, all that I oversee, joining forces to help with the excavation for the new valve installation. This to, once again, limit the downtime for the customers we had affected. So you'll see that we not only use heavy equipment, but we use large Vector combination trucks to help safely excavate around any existing utilities. The center picture is just showing some of the remnants or the debris left over from, that is just the stormwater catchment, the catch basin that was dangling over the gas and water main. So that just doesn't really give you the grasp of how large that concrete structure was with the rebar reinforcement. The valve on the right is a 12-inch resilient wedge gate valve. This is the valve that our crews installed to help restore water to those customers. We were just fortunate that the way the system was configured in that area and the location that the crews picked to install the valve worked to our favor. It's not always the case.
Just out of curiosity, Patrick, I'm wondering, how much does that valve weigh?
Well, it's probably well over 350 pounds. So, yep. And just a couple other photos that were taken just showing the amount of debris that spewed out onto the roadway. So as you can imagine, this took most of East Huntington Drive at North J Street, roughly about 200 feet to the east, and it buckled most of the asphalt and undermined a lot of curb, gutter, and sidewalk in that area. The photo on the right is actually a mini excavator from our JOC, Eagle Mountain Construction, assisting the very next day in the excavation of that broken piping network. It's kind of hard to see. It's actually the 12-inch diameter water mains right underneath the bucket itself. The orange conduit you see to the left is actually a fiber optic network, a very important communications network. And there's also a private unmarked irrigation service in white that you can see just there running parallel with the fiber optic network. And that is it. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Don't go too far. We do have, are you done completely?
I was just going to
Sorry.
say thank you for taking the time to hear us out. I just wanted to demonstrate our emergency response at work and our JOC program and our emergency procurement process all work together here to get this fixed and back in service as quickly as possible. And do you have a question for Patrick or myself?
Oh, thank you. We do have some questions, and I do want to thank you for bringing the presentation to us. You all work so hard and get things done quick, and this is a great example of that, so thank you. We do have Councilmember Garcia with a question, comment.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. And thank you, Lee and Patrick, for the presentation and all the work that you do here. If you have the ability to contact the contractors, or please let them know that at least myself personally really want to thank, everybody from the person holding the stop sign up to the operators who I know from coming from that field live for the moments where they are in most need and will just put on their Superman cape and jump out there and get this done as quickly as possible. But it says a lot about your leadership to be able to have the people on hand to get these jobs done. So thank your crew, yourselves, and the others. Beyond that, I wanted to expand a little bit, and if I'm thinking out loud here, so I didn't have time to prepare the question. If it catches you off guard, we can get it in an email. But I was curious about the funding branch or the funding allocation for emergencies. Can you speak to that a little bit for the public?
Do you want me to jump in? Yeah, go ahead. So water distribution does have an operations and maintenance budget, including a valve and fire hydrant repair program that assisted with the funding of an emergency such as this. Lee might be able to touch more on any funding we may have through our capital improvement program to help support these types of emergencies.
Excellent. So perhaps if this was to happen again, we've seen a couple of them this year. We have a funding branch that's ready for emergencies, and that way the people of Flagstaff can flush their toilets as they need and get that cold, fresh tasting water every time they turn the tap.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And to expand on what Patrick said, yeah, we have funds set aside, and if it exceeds our capacity in that account, we have a contingency plan in our CIP that we can tap into for, it's not huge, but it's enough to take care of these type of situations.
Thank you for being so thoughtful and considering even the things that you normally wouldn't consider, like accidents.
Thank you, Councilmember Spence, and then Councilmember House.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Have you been able to determine whether this break in the water main is indicative of any problems with the overall stretch of piping that you're dealing with?
Yeah, thank you for the question. We verified through as-built from 1974, the installation date of this 12-inch water line, that there didn't appear to be a thrust block or concrete kicker. It's a restraining method for our pipe joint fittings. So that might have been a standard at that time in 1974. It is currently not. We have other methods to restrain our piping. So we believe that potentially over all these years, over 50 years, that this pipe finally, these push-style joint fittings, simply came apart. But there was no evidence that we saw through the excavation or through the fittings themselves that there was a restraining device on that fitting. So it's simply a matter of that material failing around it and allowing that pipe to separate.
And if I may ask, what is the material that the pipe is made of?
So that is asbestos cement. Yep, it's a very common water line in most distribution systems, especially in the 70s and early 80s, which is no longer installed. So we replaced with modern materials.
Thank you.
Sure.
Councilmember House?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you both for the presentation. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank you and appreciate the rapid speed at which you responded to this emergency and got this repair underway for all the people that were impacted. It was great to see the frequent updates on what was happening with this, and just to hear what all you were doing to get this taken care of, including the communication with the local, whether it was residents or businesses that were impacted. That communication is so important, and I'm sure very much appreciated from those that were directly impacted by this. So just very grateful for both the speed and the open communication. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Aslan.
Thank you. I seem to do that a lot. I think it's a nervous tick. Could you guys just take a stab at a back of the napkin or back of the envelope calculation of how the frequency with which this sort of magnitude of break is occurring, and extrapolate that out into what you anticipate will be similar situations within the next year or two?
Sure. So I'll do my best, just with my experience in my 26 career with the city of Flagstaff is not to this the size of break, but we do typically have maybe one per month on average, but nothing to this size. And this is meaning the loss and the severity of it. As far as calculating that out, hopefully that becomes less and less with our CIP program, correct? To replace our existing and aging infrastructure. But on average, we're seeing roughly one water main break, and a main could be a 2-inch water line all the way up to our 30, our largest water line in the city of Flagstaff.
That's all, thank you.
Councilmember Matthews?
Thank you. I'll be quick. I have had the opportunity to drive by as recent as today to see it live for myself, and it was just amazing to see how fast you all worked, and it looks great. And so thank you just so much for being a rapid responder and taking care of these emergencies. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you both again, and keep up the good work.
Thank you for your time.
Moving down to item 8, courtesy snow berm relocation and snow hero program information.
There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So once again, Gino Leone, City's Parks Manager, here with colleague Stephen Thompson to highlight 2 great programs the city offers residents, the Snow Berm Relocation Program and the Snow Hero Program. Interesting. Okay, that'll work. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I'll kick us off with an overview of the Snow Berm Relocation Program. The Snow Berm Relocation Program is managed by the Pros Division with the intent on relocating the snow berm in the right-of-way created by a Public Works snow operation to ensure driveway access for a qualified resident. The berm is relocated using various mechanical means, snow plows and small tractors. And it also relies on a high level of communication, which begins with the application process, annual communication with qualified residents for renewals, snow assignment tracking, as well as coordinating with our partners in Public Works to ensure program success. The program is offered to residents within the city limits with a qualifying permanent or temporary medical condition through an application that's found on the city's website, as you can see on the screen. It could also be found any internet search engine. Just look up Flagstaff Courtesy Berm Removal Program, and it'll bring you to this landing page. The eligibility must also be renewed on an annual basis. The qualifying conditions are the same as the Motor Vehicle Division Disability Placard application and must be signed and certified by licensed medical staff. Some of those qualifying conditions would include the inability to walk 200 feet or the inability to walk without an assisted device, various lung and cardiac conditions and arthritis, just to name a few. But all of the qualifying conditions can be found with the application materials on this landing page. So how does PROS manage this process? It's managed with a high level of communication amongst the PROS team. This all begins in August. The team communicates with residents that remained on the list at the end of the previous snow season. This is done as part of the annual renewal process to ensure the service is still needed, the resident has not moved, or their condition has not changed. And then in October, the team is getting ready for preparations for the upcoming winter season. PROS creates a current list of participants based off the previous communications with the households in August, as well as any new applications that may have come through at that time. All this data is compiled into a shared database, as well as being inputted into the PROS snow assignment tracking application. The application, residents could apply at any time, so this list is fluid. We typically don't end the season with the same number we begin with. There could be additions as new applications come in, or possibly deletions should someone's condition change, or someone with a temporary designation should that term expire before the end of that current snow season. All right, what we're looking at here is a chart of the PROS snow assignments by priority level. And this is for every snow event, this is what PROS is responsible for. There's a total of 293 assignments, 178 of which are considered the highest priority, 36 in that medium to low priority category, and then the 79 courtesy berm locations that we're discussing today. Just for reference, the highest priority locations for the PROS team would include commuter sections of paved foots trails, safe to school sidewalk routes, safe ingress and egress from city buildings and parking lots, just to name a few. The medium and lower priority would be recreational trail connections, seating areas, and then the internal walks in our park grounds. And then those 79 courtesy locations that we're discussing today. This is important to note since this is a courtesy service provided by PROS. We are unable to deploy resources until we are substantially complete with those 178 highest priority assignments. At that time, it's typically 2 to 4 coworkers that are assigned to the program, and it's dependent on storm duration and accumulation, but it's typically 24 to 48 hours from that last snowflake until we're really able to deploy resources to this program. What we're looking at here, this is the data we just saw on the chart. This is an actual snippet from the PROS snow tracking application dashboard. So this is all those 293 assignments we were talking about. It's a series of lines and polygons would be trucks and tractors. Squares would be shovel points, and then the triangles, those are those courtesy locations we're talking about today. And this final slide just locates just those 79 courtesy locations, just so you can see they are spread throughout the city limits, which just demonstrates the need for multiple resources to be deployed to effectively manage this program when we're able to. And that is an overview of the snow berm relocation program. Are there any questions before we move on to the next part of the presentation?
Council, any questions? I'm not seeing any. Thank you.
All right, great. Well, with that being just one of the programs offered to residents, there are still community needs to be met. So I'm going to turn this over to my colleague, Stephen Thompson, to talk about the Snow Heroes program.
Thank you, Gino. Good afternoon, Vice Mayor, council members, and community members in person and online. My name is Stephen Thompson, and I serve as a manager within the City of Flagstaff Sustainability Office. And as Gino was sharing, there are a lot of programs that the city offers residents, and many of them are complementary. So taking a look at the courtesy berm relocation and the Snow Heroes program, they work hand in hand in a lot of ways. And I'm going to share some of the goals of the Snow Hero program, the process for signing up, and if you want to become a Snow Hero or request services from a Snow Hero to help clear sidewalks of snow and ice, Here's a one-stop shop, a little overview of that. So one of the primary goals of the Snow Hero program is to complement programs like the Courtesy Berm Relocation Program. It's also intended to help connect neighbors with other neighbors, so a Neighbors Helping Neighbors program. And along these lines, like if we're shoveling sidewalks, clearing ice and snow from those sidewalks, it does increase mobility within neighborhoods and can help prevent people from, walking in streets and creating an unsafe environment in that space. And it also offers a great opportunity for a lot of internal collaborations across the city beyond just sustainability and pros. So how does the program work? It all starts similar to the Courtesy Berm Relocation Program. It starts with people requesting assistance. There are a couple of requirements of living within city limits, be 62 or older, or present a physical disability. And it's an easy sign up, multiple ways. Either you can go online to the link that's on there, or type into a search engine, Snow Hero Program, City of Flagstaff, and it will be the first thing that pops up. Super simple form. You read through the information as presented on the screen there and submit your name and contact info. You can also print one of those off, mail it in. We also have them available at the office, the sustainability office at 419 North Mogollon, or you can give me a call. Easy extension number there, 2144, and that number is also available through the city's directory. So if you need assistance, like I can't get out there to shovel the snow and ice that's required by ordinance to maintain a clear passage in the adjacent sidewalk to either the property that you own or you're renting in, you can sign up for this program, and we will try and match you with a nearby neighbor who has signed up to be a snow hero. Now, to be a snow hero, there are a couple of requirements there. Be 18 or older, or have approval by your parent or guardian. You're required to provide your own transit or mode of transportation to help that resident in need. So walking, taking bus, personal vehicle, shared vehicle. And you're also required to provide your own equipment. So snow shovels, snow blowers, those types of things. And we're asking those snow heroes to provide assistance within 48 hours of the last snowfall. Now, that 48-hour period is to allow ample time for snow operations along the streets to complete, and the folks on Gino's team and pros to get a start on that courtesy snow berm relocation. And I'm in a lot of communication with the snow heroes, so after any sort of snowfall, I'm sending emails, text messages, things like that to say, hey, are you on your way? Are you planning to be there? Because sometimes the snow heroes want to take vacation, want to travel, visit friends and family outside of Flagstaff, and may forget to say, oh, hey, I'm not going to be around to assist. And that provides me an opportunity to realize that so I can communicate with the resident who is expecting assistance to say, hey, your snow hero is out of town. I'm trying to find somebody to fill in the gaps. Because while the Snow Hero program is a really amazing benefit, it's also a huge commitment. So each snow hero is committing to help that resident that they're paired with throughout the winter season. So sometimes it can be a very long winter here in Flagstaff or a shorter one as far as snow seasons go. Now, just a quick recap of this relatively new program. So the Snow Hero program, this is the third year of it. So it's only been around for a few years, and during our first year, we had a lot of snow. So this was a very, very popular program, and on average, we're seeing around 20 to 30 applications of residents, and somewhere around 30 to 40 snow heroes who are wanting to sign up for this. This year, those numbers are a little bit down, because if you're not seeing snow out there, it's less on your mind. And every year we do send out a volunteer and resident survey to get feedback on the program. How can we improve it? What do you like most about it? Why did you sign up to begin with? And we ask questions like if there's anything else that we need to change. And there's a couple of quotes there from both residents and volunteers who have participated in this program. So we do want this program to continue, so if anyone has any magic to create more snow, we would encourage that. And just a quick recap of the two complementary programs that Gino and I have discussed this afternoon. So the berm relocation program is a service offered through PROS, where staff are getting paid to go out to help remove the berms at the end of people's driveways after snow operations are complete. And there are some more stringent requirements as part of that program, as far as the medical condition and things being reviewed by staff to say, oh yes, this was reviewed by a medical professional and it signed off in that way. The Snow Hero program is primarily a neighbors helping neighbors program where we're trying to connect that really good neighborly energy that we have here in Flagstaff and kind of directing it to where it's needed the most. And residents sign up, it's on the honor system, and the biggest requirement being outside of the age and ability is you have to have an adjacent sidewalk. So that way, that's on public right-of-way where we can have volunteers providing assistance. And it depends on availability of a snow hero. If there's not somebody in your neighborhood or a snow hero who has signed up that is willing to drive or make the way to your residence, unfortunately, we cannot assist. But hopefully, as we spread the word and recruit more volunteers, so if anyone wants to become a snow hero, please let me know. Spread the word. We're trying to get more people just aware that this program exists, so that way, the years that we do have Snowmageddon, we have a solid volunteer base, and hopefully encourage others to help that neighbor down the street that we always say, why didn't they shovel their sidewalk? Maybe they just need a little helping hand. All right, that's all I have. And if there's any questions for myself or Gino, we're happy to answer.
Thank you. I appreciate the presentation. We do have some questions. Councilmember Matthews.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I love these two programs. I think it's such a great community involvement project. It serves a great service. So just thank you very much. And my question on the berm relocation, is laziness qualified? So I can't get my husband to go out there, so I end up having to shovel the berm with an ice pick. So if I could, and probably as Doctor would say, he does have that. But no, I just want to say thank you because I know we haven't really had a chance to talk about it a lot this year. Hopefully we still have a little bit of time left, but it's just, in my neighborhood, I see teenage boys coming over and, snow plowing the sidewalks and stuff, and it really warms the neighborhood and the community. So thank you for keeping this going even on our dry years, and you have my full support, so thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Spence.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would just like to make the observation that, and I thank you for this presentation, and my observation is that the courtesy berm relocation and the Snow Hero program are an direct embodiment of the mission of the city of Flagstaff to protect and enhance the quality of life for all. So I thank you both and your colleagues for doing these programs. You are accomplishing our mission. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just want to say there was one winter, I'm guessing when this started, that the mayor and I were out doing snow berm removal ourselves to help out, and it is hard work. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the sentiment of neighbors helping neighbors. What a beautiful way to display that, so thank you very much. Councilmember Garcia.
I had thank you, Gino and Stephen, for the presentation. This is much like Councilmember Matthews' comments, one of my favorite programs because because of that community forward-facing element and your interactions with just simply helping out. It's really amazing to have a city that does things, not only this type of program, but many programs tied with sustainability in other ways than just saving our carbon footprint. So I appreciate that. And forgive me, during the beginning of the presentation, I was looking at an email. I was really invested in an email, so forgive me if I skipped over this. But I was curious as to your communication arms. If there's anything that you didn't specify during the presentation, if you can just kind of highlight, how you're getting this type of word out. And when I say that, I think of the 3 neighborhood associations that we, kind of have partnerships with across the community and other places. What is the communication outreach towards the community, and not to be duplicative if it was inside of the program?
So, referring to the berm relocation program, that communication is handled. There are, emails and mailers that go out, and a lot of it, the information is there on the city's website, which I think a lot of people get directed to when they have those concerns. And I think most of the communication is going out to people who are currently on the list for those renewal processes. I'm not aware of a whole lot of outreach, just putting that information about the program out there.
Excellent, thank you for that. And I'm, as you mentioned that, I'm also thinking about the scale of this and how it'll scale over time. So if we're at the word of mouth phase because of the availability of participants on both sides, those that can help and those that need help, I totally get that. And I'm excited for the future where we have too many volunteers, and we really need to get the word out to seniors and others that can apply for this.
Yeah, and word of mouth is always one of in this community in particular, word of mouth gets more volunteers than any sort of paid advertisement that I have tried, at least from my experience. But word of mouth is definitely a part of what we do for the Snow Hero program. We also tap into the snow berm relocation list and do direct mailers and contacts to those residents who are on that sign up already, like, hey, would you also be interested in this service as well? There is a lot of cross-referencing to ensure that there is an adjacent sidewalk, because that's one of the factors for the Snow Hero program. In heavier snow years, we do more robust advertising and outreach for it. We've done articles in the newspaper, massive social media presence, local newsletters from not only the Sustainability Office, but Discover Flagstaff are really invaluable in getting the word out. Our partners in code compliance do a fantastic job of connecting community members with resources. So if they're out on a call or responding to things, they will share, hey, have you heard about this program? Maybe consider signing up if you're eligible. But word of mouth and having more direct one-on-one with the different neighborhood associations is something that we're looking at pursuing in a more consistent and regular basis moving forward.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for this program. I can't wait to become 62 so I can call up and have some people help me.
Any other questions or comments, council? I'm not seeing any. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, we are moving down to open call to the public, and I do have some cards. And I apologize ahead of time if I mispronounce your name, so please correct me when you come up. First, we have Teshwana Yazi.
Hello, my name's Tashana Yazi. I come from the Navajo Nation, and oh my God, oh my God, sorry. And the reason why I'm here is to change the Columbus Street Avenue. And I come from Flagstaff High School. I'm a junior. And the reason why I want that name change is because the history he did to mistreat Native Americans, because I identify as one. What does that, and the name that currently means to me is disrespectful, and that it shouldn't be a street name. So, okay. Oh my God.
You're doing great. Just take a couple of deep breaths. We're all your friends here.
And what was it? Hold on, I have something else to say. And I think the appropriate name to change it is Hajo. And it's a Navajo word stand for beauty, harmony, balance, and health. And the reason why I want it to be that is because that's how I see Flagstaff. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming up. Next, we have Riley Shapia. And again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name.
Hello. Hello, my name is Riley Shupla. I'm a ninth grader at Flagstaff High School, and the reason I'm here is because I think that we should change the name of the Columbus Street Avenue. I think that we should change it because, to me, it feels kind of inappropriate that we would have his name on there, as people call him, like, he discovered the U.S. first, when there has been like so much research showing that it had already been claimed and owned by Native Americans. And I agree with her saying an appropriate name would be Hojo, because I just find the name really pretty, and also it means like beautiful, beauty, and stuff like that. So I think that would be a nice way to represent that street, because it means beautiful, and Flagstaff is pretty beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Anthony Watson.
Good afternoon. My name's Anthony Watson. I go to Flagstaff High School. She'e Anthony Watson Yinashye. Today I'm talking on behalf of Flagstaff High School and my sponsor, NAC Native American Club. Today I'm here to talk about the renaming of Columbus Avenue. I do agree with my dear friend of changing it to Hajo. The reason for this change is rooted in meaning and impact. Hajo in Diné culture represents beauty, harmony, balance, and order. It reflects a way of living that values respect for the land, for community, and for future generations. Renaming the street to Hajo would honor Indigenous presence and promote values that align with unity and healing in Flagstaff. At the same time, keeping the name Columbus continues to honor a figure whose actions led to violence, displacement, and lasting harm to Indigenous people, including my own. For many of us, that name is not neutral. It's a reminder of historical trauma. To move forward with this change, we understand that community and the city support are essential. As a collective, we would need a formal letter of support from the Flagstaff City Council to help this renaming process ensure that the city stands with Indigenous voices and values. This request is not about erasing history, but about responding and being responsible in choosing a name that reflects who we are and who we want to be as a community. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Ashlyn Arnold?
Hello, Council. My name is Ashlyn Arnold. Tanzani Nishlan Kedan Ase Bashichin, Sebe Hone de Shiche, Bashwichahi Dashanale. Toreneshe de Isi Nasha Akone de Kansane de Kehashte. So it's Ada Shanahai, Flagstaff High School de Otha, Arona Kits Ada Giginishta. Akut Ego Denenchik Enishlan. Hello, everybody. It's an honor to be in front of you all today, even those on screens. My name is Ashlyn Arnold. I am a senior at Flagstaff High School, as well as the Native American Club president. I sit on board with the Indigenous Circle of Flagstaff, and I'm coming here alongside my fellow FHS schoolmates about the Columbus Avenue. So this has been an issue that we have been wanting to change for some time. And we know that, it's not something that Flagstaff City can't, or isn't really able to, to change on the maps and everything. So what we're really asking is to have you guys in support of us. And we're asking for a letter of support to hopefully be sent to the state to change the maps. Because, as they were saying, with this name being Columbus, it's like we're honoring this figure who really just brought harm to all of America, and he's a very bad person, and we just wouldn't we don't stand for that name. And so what we're asking is for your guys' support in a letter form, so then we can send it to the state, because this just doesn't represent what Flagstaff is. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. We have one more comment from Aliana Esplain.
Hi, good afternoon, Council. My name is Aliana Esplain. I'm a 9th grader at Flagstaff High School. I wanted to come up here because the Columbus name of Avenue, the street name, I don't really support that, so I'd rather change it to Hojo because it means a lot to us, us people, even my classmates and all that. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we have a quick comment from our city manager.
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor, Council, and thanks to the commenters. I did just want to clarify that this is within the city's purview, that this is a decision that the city would make, that we don't need to send a letter to the state to change the name of a city street or avenue. So I just wanted to clarify that. And we'll take this back and talk with staff. As many of you know, this is actually it's a 3-block area. It's the area that goes from Highway 180, Columbus, and then into Schweitzer Canyon. So we'll take it back and we'll have a discussion with staff and bring it back to council, and just appreciate the comments this evening.
Thank you for that. Okay, we are moving down to informational items to and from mayor, council, city manager, and future agenda item requests. And I will start with Councilmember Matthews.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilmember Garcia?
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I have a few places that I will be within the next week that I wanted to kind of report on. I wanted to shout out to the kids at Flagstaff, or the young adults at Flagstaff High, for coming down here today and expressing your viewpoints. A voice can really make a difference. And for those of you that'll be in the part of the driver's ed program, next week you'll be sitting with me while I teach a class on motorcycle awareness and safety for those kids or for those young adults once again. So I'll be seeing you next Monday for that. Let's see here, on Thursday, January 29th, we will be having a CBDG community meeting right here in the council chambers. So that's for community block development grants and all things housing related under that context. All members of the community are welcome to come on down here and learn more about CBDG funding, and I will probably be here too because I have a lot to learn as well. Friday, January 30th, 4 p.m., Flagstaff Fire Department will be hosting their annual award ceremony, also here in City Council chambers, for all of those that are interested in meeting up with some of your council members, your community leaders, and of course the Flagstaff Fire Department to hand out those awards for their public safety and all that. And tomorrow, I'll be taking a personal trip, not as a council member, but as a community member and an Arizonan, to the state capitol to be witnessing some bills that are taking place and kind of getting my feet wet on how we can affect change at the state level. It'll be my first encounter with actually sitting in on those meetings, so I'm very excited about that. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Aslan.
Yeah, I appreciate the comments brought to us by the public this afternoon. If it's necessary or at all helpful, I would love to put a fare out for that or agendize it or just, lend my support to the effort. We'll see where it goes, but I would definitely like to see the process move forward. City Manager, you've already intimated that that's going to happen, so just putting my support behind it. Only one real update this week that's kind of relevant about things. I met with the Dark Sky Coalition yesterday. We discussed the announcement of the LDS Temple that's going to be coming to Flagstaff at some point. I've also been contacted by the LDS community here in Flagstaff. So there are some conversations going on about how to protect our dark skies and how to protect religious freedom and to see where all that is. I feel very privileged and gratified to be in a position to sort of be brokering some of these conversations, and I'll keep everyone updated about that. I'm going to have a sit down with the city manager on Friday to discuss a little bit further, and very hopeful that there's a solution to what may not even be a potential problem. I appreciate how everyone is concerned about this. I share those concerns, but I think there's a path forward.
Councilmember Spence.
I have nothing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, and I just have a couple of things. What? Oh. Sorry about that. Councilmember House. Boy, I'm skipping things all over the place.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The only thing I have is that I wanted to thank the young people that came and spoke with us this evening and would also like to recommend an expedited presentation and follow-up on that item for the renaming of Columbus Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I have a couple of things. I did attend the Coconino Center for the Arts Theater unveiling. They've done some revamping, and I have to say those new seats in there are very comfortable, so go check them out. Last week, I was nominated and accepted the position of Vice Chair of Mountain Line. Very excited to serve in that role. And on Thursday, I'm going down with Kate Morley and Supervisor Geronimo Vasquez to Phoenix, and we're doing a day of, I'm the alternate for RTAC, and there's a big day of meetings, and I'm excited to participate in that. So with that, we're not quite done. I apologize. Somehow I skipped over Brent Elmer, who also had a comment card, and I apologize for that. Please come on up.
Kosovom tamamoi to kaivat stota tamamoi he ta a na ne No awewa yon hobe ma chua, no Brent Elmer yon bahan ma chua, go kyang wong ya ne kyang no hope vela ep gate that burn at Flagstaff High School the tukai. Ina Brandon Elmer yon bahan ma chua, ina Teresa Celestial yon bahan ma chua. Hello, you may remember me from the Agassiz name change, but today I am here to talk about Columbus Avenue West and East. As you know, Christopher Columbus is known for his 4 transatlantic voyages starting in 1492. And his journeys are famous for connecting the Old World, Europe, Africa, Asia, with the New World, the Americas, but also for their devastating impact on indigenous populations through disease, enslavement, and conquest, making the start of centuries of colonization. And having Columbus Ave be the first name before coming across several Native American tribe names is degrading in a way. The name has come around a lot, which was Hozo, meaning beauty, harmony, balance, and wellness, but this name hasn't been set in stone. We will talk with the Kinsey Elementary students who may have spoke before half, and we may also get information from our elders to consider what they believe the name should be. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you again. My apologies that I accidentally skipped. And to close us out, I believe our city manager has some comments.
I do. Thank you, Vice Mayor, Council. I just wanted to provide a clarification on one item, and then just a couple of updates. So we had some comments earlier in the meeting about the Babbitt House and preserving the Babbitt House, and I do just want to clarify a couple of those comments. When we brought this item to Council on January 13th, it was to discuss moving forward with negotiations with All Thrive on purchasing the north and south properties. Kind of since that time, we've kind of stepped back from that and are just, still having discussions, but obviously have heard the concerns about the Babbitt House. But I wanted to clarify that when we brought this to council, we did not state that we were going to use that entire property or the property where the Babbitt House is located for parking or a parking lot. It's been stated several times, it's been stated in articles and been stated publicly, and we were very clear that we would bring it back to council for a discussion on what to do with that property. So I just wanted to provide that clarification and just a clarification for the public as well. The second item is on February 5th, we have a budget retreat with council. And just, for council and the public, this is a really good opportunity to hear from our staff. And our team works very hard to put these numbers together that shows kind of financially how we're doing financially as a city and talk about some challenges that we're having, and talk about some opportunities as well. So I just encourage all of you to be there and hopefully be there in person. But also for the public, it's an opportunity to hear from our staff on how we're doing at the city. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other things from leadership?
Shannon, Kevin, any updates?
Okay. So I'm not seeing anything else that I have missed. So with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.